Hey everyone, Eric here from Iowa Robot Fighting. So I'm back after the fights at the WRC competition up in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It was a blast. Had a great time. Loved meeting all the new people that were up there. And some of the fights were pretty epic. Unfortunately, not all of them were mine. Most of them weren't. I will go ahead and just start introducing videos. I will tell you right off the bat, I did take 5th at this competition, which is a major improvement over the first competition that Cowboy Beep Boop was in. Unfortunately, Evan wasn't able to join me, but my father, Dave, was able to come along with, which was great to be able to have him there with me and be able to experience the robot fighting environment. So the first fight I had of the day was against Lil Twisty. Now you might remember him from the Minneapolis competition. He was part of Team Superbad Robotics, and his driver is Carl, also known as Santana. He is the one I built the test box for. So Carl absolutely kicked my ass the last time we fought up in Minneapolis, and I was really hoping to come out on top this time. So let's go ahead and take a look.
Ready? All right, we are good to go. Let's start the fight. In 3, 2, 1, fight! We are off and rolling. Both competitors meeting in the center. Cowboy Beep Boop has that wedge, trying to jam up Lil Twisty. Both competitors a little bit slow on the drive aspect. Lil Twisty trying to get their weapon spun up and connected under the wedge of Cowboy Beep Boop. Good shot from Cowboy Beep Boop. Getting stuck on the floor team, but overall showing the most control in this match. Here's an opportunity for Lil Twisty. Can they get around the back? Oh, we may have to beat the robot. Cowboy Beep Boop. We need to see some mobility.
I'm stuck on the floor.
It's stuck on the floor.
Getting stuck on the floor. Okay, and we have some help from Lil Twisty.
There we go.
There we go. Looks like Lil Twisty has broken off the motor shaft of Cowboy Beep Boop. I think they have another weapon planned for other opponents. 30 seconds to go. Cowboy Beep Boop, another pin. Lil Twisty grinding away. Cowboy Beep Boop forcing Lil Twisty into a corner, getting lots of aggression and control.
Don't get stuck, please don't get stuck again.
And that is a match.
There we go.
All right.
As you can tell, it wasn't exactly the most exciting fight. For my part, it was a very technical pushing match. I was finding that Cowboy wasn't exactly performing up to speed, but it was able to get my wedge up against Carl's bot, and I came out on top on that one, which was really cool. Meant I was able to redeem myself for the 3 losses versus Superbad Robotics up in Minneapolis. But my next fight was against Theseus from GBT Robotics. Theseus is one of the top bots in the Midwest, if not the top bot in the Midwest at this point for ant weight. And I didn't have high hopes for this one, but let's go ahead and take a look.
Let's get this fight underway in 3, 2, 1, fight! We are off and rolling. Theseus looking for an edge to bite, chipping away at the sides of Cowboy Beep Boop. Cowboy doing their best to just keep the front pointed at Theseus. They have a nice pin on Theseus. Theseus still chipping away at the sides. riding up the wedge, tearing out some foam from those tires. Theseus just circling their prey, looking for an edge to bite. Cowboy struggling to turn guard more and more. That rear arm gets chased in. Oh, that might be it. Can they move?
I think that's it.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2,
Yeah, no.
1.
I think you wore
That
off
is
enough
going
of
to
my
do
wheel,
it.
so that was it.
Your winner is Theseus with another KO. Looks like Cowboy just got beached on their own armor as it bent under them.
Oh no, he cut my chassis in half. If you look, you can see through my chassis there.
Now, next week, I'll get into the details of what all happened there and what the plan is going forward. But as you can tell from my comments in the video at the very end there, he literally cut a hole in the back of my chassis and made me prop up on my own armor. I had a pretty good run there for a little bit, and I was really hoping I might be able to do a similar pin technique that I was using on Lil Twisty, but unfortunately Theseus is just a really difficult robot to face. So luckily I didn't face him again the rest of the day. Some other people had some really difficult fights with Theseus later that day, and Theseus did go on to win the WRC this time around, and that put him on top of the circuit again. We're looking at, I think he has 3 or 4 first place finishes over the last like 8 months, which is impressive. But let's go ahead and get into my personal favorite fight because it's both technical and highly destructive for Cowboy Beep Boop. So it's Cowboy versus Cookie Cutter.
This match underway. In 3, 2, 1, fight. Here we go. See if Cookie Cutter can get that weapon up to speed. Cowboy definitely has theirs up to speed. They're just chipping away at those UHMW uprights, peeling off a little bit of top armor around Cookie Cutter. Cookie Cutter struggling to move just a little bit. Here comes Cowboy Beep Boop, ripping into some wires and tearing off, looks like at least one wheel. Okay, that is a tap out.
Very good.
So your winner is Cowboy Beep Boop.
So as you can see, I got that tap out on the end, and I was elated that I was able to just nick him just right so that I could take out one of his cables. And I ended up taking off a wheel in that too, which was impressive because I'd never seen that level of damage performed by Cowboy up until that point. So my spirits were lifted quite a lot after that fight. I wasn't certain that Cowboy was going to perform this well, not after the Minneapolis fights, but you know, variance in armor really helped. So next up is Leatherface. The driver from UDAR is also the runner for Michigan Mashup. So we had some discussions, and we're currently talking about the Midwest League at this point. I'll get into that closer to the end of the video. So let's get into the fight against Leatherface.
In 3, 2, 1, go. All right, 1 pound robots. We have Leatherface with that overhead saw. Cowboy Beep Boop with that horizontal spinner. Cowboy Beep Boop is going to be trying to tear off the arm of that saw. Oh, the saw gets shattered. Cowboy Beep Boop off to a great start in this match. They've effectively disabled the weapon on Leatherface. Leatherface is left to push them around. Leatherface down on their weapon. They're going to need to win a very convincing control match to have a shot at this. They seem to be doing just that though, pushing Cowboy all across the box. Oh, and there goes the rest of the sauce. Could that be the turning point? That seems to have shaken Leatherface. They may not be driving. Oh, we're gonna need a countdown. 10. Oh no, they're back.
He just got a little irritated chatter.
Oh, Leatherface still having intermittent drive issues. They're angrily patting Cowboy on the head with that overhead saw, or what's left of it. Oh! Another huge hit. Disintegrating that saw even more. 10 seconds to go. And that is going to be a match.
So that fight went amazingly well. Right off the bat, getting a lucky jump straight into my opponent's weapon. And thanks to the driver of Leatherface, he went ahead and gifted me as some trophies from that fight. The piece of blade that I initially jumped off and clipped off the end of his weapon, and the weapon bar slash arm itself with the motor. And I don't know if you can see that, but I scored some pretty significant hits and I'm having difficulty even turning this motor. It's been jammed up so hard, and I can actually see on the inside some of those magnets not wanting to move. But the reason why he gave me the arm is right there. You can see that I clipped this arm in half. He was slamming me on the top or tapping me on the top, and I just kept wrenching on it until it snapped. So that was a very lucky fight from the get-go, and then also a well thought out design fight there because of my weapon placement. And I'll go through that as well next week as to why I went that route and how it advantaged me in that fight. But the UDAR driver from Michigan Mashup also brought a second robot named Nosferatu, which I fought next. So let's go ahead and take a look at that one.
All right, let's get this match underway in 3, 2, 1, fight! There we go, both weapons up to speed. Nosferatu going straight for that wheel guard. That's what jammed them up last time. Nosferatu doing a very good job of controlling this match, getting to the back where they are weakest. Cowboy Beacon struggling to get out of the corner. They're hoping to line up in some way so that they can connect with that weapon. But taking hits like that certainly isn't going to help them. Nosferatu again just getting to the back of the robot.
Whoa!
Now focusing on the front where they can contact with metal.
Stuck.
Oh, is that going to do it?
Tap
Are they
out.
stuck there? 10? Oh, that's a tap out. All right, so Cowboy beat.
So unfortunately, that was the end of my pursuit to get into the award level. I ended up going out at 5th place, which isn't exactly disappointing because it's a step up. I knew that this was a compromised design of mine, and just the sheer fact that I was able to improve as much as I did against some of these heavy-hitting robots, I was very pleased with. But I'd like to thank everybody for the great fights. It was awesome. I look forward to meeting up with you guys again. But one last fight on the video here today is the Rumble. So I decided to check out the event because this was at a maker fair, and my father and I walked around and took a look at some of the different items that were on display, including some really cool Lego displays and different things like that. There were also many Daleks rolling around, which they were getting into all sorts of antics, which was really cool. But I won't hold off any further. Here is the Rumble.
Oh man. There is just so much going on. Necessary Evil having some trouble, it looks like, over there.
Oh! Somebody lost it.
There we go. Now we have some debris flying. We've got wheels flying all over the place. Oh! Karen and Leatherface going at it. The same struggling to kind of... Oh! Look at that.
Oh,
Well, that one may be out.
he's done.
Yep.
You're done.
Guns out struggling. Necessary Evil struggling. Not sure which one that one is.
Wait. Drive. No drive.
Nameless is still in it there. Look at it. Oh, Nameless lost the wheel. We're slowing down. Oh, Necessary Evil pushing two robots.
The little one. It's insane.
The Saint is struggling, still in it. I want to see a big hit. Who's going to do the big hit?
Oh, there goes Lasty's front wheel.
Hey, Elliot.
You've got 6 robots that are still moving.
Look at the wheels laying here.
Yeah, lots of wheels, lots of debris. Poor Nameless is down to 1 wheel, but look, he's still going for it. Got a lot of spirit, that one. Ooh, is that Leatherface? Look at that. Going after Karen. They don't like Karen. But it sounds cool. No damage, but it sounds cool.
I like this little one here.
Necessary Evil. Okay, there it is. I am not calling that.
So as you can tell, that was a complete disaster. Like, on my part, just having Cowboy, I think it's Cowboy 3, detonating like it did, it was just an absolute cluster, and it was great. Because I had gone off to look at things before going into the fight, I wasn't aware when the Rumble was going to happen, and we walked up back into the pits as soon as the Rumble was being announced. And I just by chance got my robot entered in. But I didn't get a chance to look over my robot, and my entire gearbox was fried on one side, so I wasn't able to drive. You'll notice I was running around in circles, and it made for a really interesting pushing match, and little clips that I did on the opposing robot until someone ended up doing enough damage to cause me to detonate. Again, I'll go into why exactly that happened next week. But as promised, I'll talk about the MRCA. So right now we're calling it Midwest Robotic Combat Association. Right now, the plan is that there will be 5 qualifiers, 1 in each state. So Michigan, Illinois, Wisconsin, Minnesota, and Iowa. Those who attend one of those or multiple of those qualifiers will be awarded points. And then there will also be other structures that are in place for qualifying for the finals. Now, we'll be announcing that sometime in the near future. I'm sure I'll be talking about it here on the channel once it's finally decided. And when this video goes out, a couple hours after this video goes out, we'll actually be holding one of our first council meetings in regards to how all those structures are going to work. So I'll be making announcements, the group will be making announcements, and we'll be setting up websites and Facebook accounts and channels and everything required for letting the public know, as well as letting other drivers know. So stay tuned on that. Other than that, I'll be back with you next week to talk about my plans for upgrading Cowboy Beep Boop for the following seasons, and probably the MRCA events themselves. After seeing what I've seen and this last event, I am overjoyed in the fact that I saw improvement. And because I saw improvement, that means I won't have to do as extensive of changes as I had planned. Mainly because I still want to keep Cowboy around the same styling. And again, I'll talk to you guys about that next week. So keep watching for the next video on next Friday. And as always, stay safe, and I'll see you next week.